Okay, let's unpack this. For anyone joining us, we're doing a deep dive today into this philosophy of the productivity ninja.
Right.
And we're looking at some source material that, I mean, it really argues that traditional time management is, well, it's obsolete.
It is. The mission here really is to give you a shortcut to a new mindset, one that's actually engineered for, modern information overload.
And without the burnout. That's the key part.
That is the key part. And what's so compelling is how it redefines productivity right from the start.
How so?
Well, it's not about doing more or working longer hours.
Mhm.
It's defined as achieving what you want, but for the least possible effort.
That's such a great reframe. It shifts the focus completely.
It does, away from endurance and towards impact.
Yeah, and I love that it rejects this idea that you have to be some kind of superhero, this guru who's always perfect.
Exactly. It's 100% human. It acknowledges that we get distracted, we doubt ourselves, we procrastinate.
So the goal isn't perfection. It's about building a system that actually works for a human being.
Sustainable one, yeah. And it's rooted in mindset, in principles, not some specific app or checklist. So to get there, we really have to look at these core characteristics, like Zen-like calm.
And ruthlessness. That one caught my eye.
Those are what enable the workflow model that lets you handle everything without that constant stress.
Okay, so let's start right there then.
Yeah.
Why are all the old systems, the ones we've all tried, why are they suddenly breaking down?
Well, the sources are pretty blunt about it. They just aren't built for the modern world.
What does that mean exactly?
If you think back to the, say, mid-20th century systems, the world was dealing with very limited physical inputs.
Like paper letters.
Paper letters, internal memos, maybe delivered once or twice a day. So you could process that information in an hour, maybe, and then you'd be free to just focus.
Right, you'd have clear space for the rest of the day to do deep work.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with today.
Oh, it's constant.
We're always plugged in. It's 204/7 email, texts, collaboration tools, social media pings.
Everything. The sources had that amazing statistic that by 9:55 in the morning.
Yeah, by 9:15 a.m., the average knowledge worker has probably seen more information inputs than one of those old school theorists saw in an entire week.
That is staggering. It's relentless.
It is. And it's not just the volume, it's the complexity. Our jobs are less defined now. The pace of communication is just exponential.
And that forces us to face a pretty uncomfortable truth, doesn't it?
It does. And the truth is this. You will never get everything finished.
That is so counterintuitive. I mean, everything we're taught about work ethic is about finishing the list.
I know. But how can you when the world doesn't wait? The old ABC priority list just fails.
Because an A-grade disaster can pop up at any moment.
Right, before you even get to your C items.
Right.
Or worse, the C items you ignore suddenly become A-grade problems themselves because you left them for too long.
So the list is always growing faster than you can check it off.
And the psychological cost of that is huge. It's chronic stress.
That feeling of never having clear space, you're just always straining, worrying about what you're forgetting.
Precisely. And that's why the focus has to shift. If we can't manage time and we can't stop the inputs, what's left?
Our decisions.
Our ability to make fast, high-quality decisions?
Yeah.
For knowledge workers, thinking is the work.
And the sources draw a really important distinction here. It's about moving from being just responsible.
Which often just means taking on burdens.
Yeah. Passively accepting them, and instead becoming truly responsible.
Responsible. Able to respond. It means you digest the information, you understand it, and you respond with an intentional action.
Okay, so to do that, you need this inner calibration. This is what they call the way of the productivity ninja.
That's it.
So let's get into those characteristics. I know there are 9, but maybe we can focus on the big ones. Starting with Zen-like calm. Why does calm come first?
Because your decision-making quality just plummets without it.
Yeah.
If you're stressed and overloaded, you just react, you don't think.
You make bad choices.
Low-quality choices, yeah. Zen-like calm is about creating that space to think rationally, even when your inbox is exploding.
And the core tactic for that is this idea of the second brain. What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, you know that famous saying, the mind is for having ideas, not for holding them?
Right.
The second brain is just your trusted external system. It could be digital, it could be analog, doesn't matter. But you capture everything there, every idea, every to-do, every reminder.
And because you trust the system to remember it for you?
Your brain can relax. The stress of trying to hold it all just disappears.
Yeah.
And that lets the calm in.
And tied to that, surprisingly, is the idea of just lowering your expectations.
It's so liberating, isn't it? When you finally accept you'll never do it all, you stop fighting reality. You can be calm knowing you're just picking the right things for today,
You're doing what one human can do.
not what 10 humans could.
Yeah. Okay, that leads right into the next trait, which is ruthlessness. That word has, some negative baggage.
It does, but here it doesn't mean being a jerk. It means intelligently sorting the big opportunities from all the noise. And, crucially, protecting your most valuable resource.
Which isn't time, it's attention.
Exactly. It's about being ruthless with your boundaries to protect that attention.
So it's kind of an application of the 80-20 rule, Pareto's law.
That's it. Knowing that 20% of what you do creates 80% of the impact. So a ruthless approach is applying impact thinking. You start by asking, what's the end goal here? And what's the minimum I need to do to get most of the way there?
So it's about completion over perfection on things that don't matter as much.
Yes. Perfection on a low-impact task is a total waste of energy.
Okay, next up is being weapon savvy. We all use tools, but the sources give this great warning about something they call productivity porn.
Ah, yes. It's such a great phrase, because we do need tools, of course. Thinking tools like a SWOT analysis, organizing software, but the obsession with the newest, shiniest app.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction that feels like you're being productive.
What's a classic example of that?
Retyping your notes, moving all your projects and tasks from one perfectly good piece of software to a new, beautiful one.
Believing that a slightly better interface is going to magically make you more productive.
When really it's just a very sophisticated form of procrastination. Being weapon savvy means picking a good tool, mastering it, and then sticking with it.
Makes sense. Okay, and the last one for this section is unorthodoxy. This is about questioning the normal way of doing things.
It's about focusing on the result, not the conventional path to get there. The sources have a great technique for this called modeling success.
So if you're stuck on a business problem,
Don't just look at how your competitors solved it. Ask how someone from a totally different field would tackle it.
like how would a surgeon organize a team? Or how would an ad agency launch a product?
Precisely. You find innovation that's already standard practice somewhere else.
Yeah.
And this ties into that famous rule-breaking idea.
The one that says it's easier to apologize than to ask permission?
Yeah, which sounds risky, but there's a huge caveat. It only applies if the risk of serious repercussions is limited. It's not a license for chaos.
It's just a bias towards action, a way to cut through bureaucracy when the stakes are low.
Exactly. And that agility is really what underpins the whole workflow model, which they call CORD.
Right, let's move into CORD. It's the central framework.
It really is. It's the cornerstone for getting that relaxed control. So CORD. It stands for capture and collect, organize, review, and do.
And I can see the flow there, but how do they reinforce each other?
Well, it's a virtuous cycle. If you capture everything really well, it makes organizing a breeze. If you organize well, your review is fast and meaningful.
And if you do all of that well, the whole system just becomes effortless.
It becomes predictable. And that predictability is what creates the calm. No more surprises lurking in your inbox or your brain.
And what's really useful about CORD is how it separates the two hats we all wear as knowledge workers, the boss and the worker.
That separation is vital. CORD helps separate the thinking from the doing.
So the boss mode is the thinking part.
Right. That's the organize and review steps, the O and the R. And the sources say this is the hardest work there is. It requires your full proactive attention. The boss sets the strategy.
And the worker mode just executes.
Yep. That's the capture and collect and the DAL, the C&D. The worker doesn't need to strategize. They just want a clear list. They just want to put the cherries on the cakes.
And when you separate those two modes, your whole focus shifts
Right.
away from time management.
And onto attention management. Because attention is the real limited resource here. It's much scarcer than time.
So we have to understand our own energy levels to manage it. The sources talk about 3 levels of attention.
Yeah, 3 levels. First is proactive attention. That's your peak performance state, focused, for your hardest problems.
Okay.
Then there's active attention. You're plugged in, you're ticking along, but you're easily distracted.
And the last one is inactive.
Inactive, the lights are on, but nobody's home. You have very little brain power left for anything complex.
So the strategy is to match the task to the attention level.
And to treat your proactive time like it's gold. The sources call it a criminal waste, to use that premium attention on easy stuff.
Like changing the printer cartridge or doing your filing.
Exactly. That stuff only needs active or even inactive attention. You have to save your best brain for your biggest challenges.
But protecting that time is hard. That proactive window, maybe 9 to 11 a.m. for most people.
That's the exact time everyone wants a piece of you. Colleagues have questions, emails are flying in.
So you have to be ruthless.
You have to be. You need to physically or digitally shield yourself during that window to get that deep work done.
Okay, so once the system is set up and we've protected our attention, we get to the final phase, do execution. And the first tactic is monotasking.
Which is the total rejection of the multitasking myth.
Which isn't real. It's just switching tasks really fast.
It's costly mental switching. Every time you switch, you burn energy getting set up again. Monotasking is about seeing one thing through to its natural end without interruption. It's so much more efficient.
And for those big, scary tasks we all avoid, there's the power hour.
The power hour is brilliant. You schedule a block of your proactive time for that one big thing you're procrastinating on.
So it turns a vague, I should do that, into a concrete commitment in your calendar.
Exactly. It bypasses that inertia that keeps us from starting the hard stuff.
And for every task, the goal is always to ship.
Absolutely. Get it finished. Get it out the door. Don't get stuck aiming for perfection.
Because that perfectionism is where the real enemy hides. Resistance.
Yes. The sources call it this nasty, evil little creature, or the lizard brain.
The lizard brain, it's such a great term for the amygdala, right? The primitive part of our brain.
The part that's just focused on survival. Fear, self-defense, staying safe and comfortable.
So in a modern office, how does that manifest? It's not a predator chasing us.
No, it's much more subtle. It disguises itself as productive habits.
Like what?
Like perfectionism, or spending hours on research you don't really need, or constantly reorganizing your already functional system. Or, and this is a big one, avoiding a difficult conversation you know you need to have.
It's all just trying to keep you from doing the scary, important work. So how do we fight that?
We cheat it. We use routines to override it. Like the worst first rule, do the hardest thing first thing in the morning before the lizard brain is fully awake.
Or you can create a bigger fear.
Like a public deadline. You make the fear of embarrassment greater than the fear of starting the work. It sidelines the resistance just long enough for you to get going.
And if we tie this all together, the goal isn't just to get through the day.
No, not at all. The goal is to develop unconscious competence.
So that all of this, the decision-making, the organizing, the ruthlessness, it all just becomes automatic.
The ninja way becomes your new status quo.
Oh.
And productivity just feels effortless.
So we've covered so much here. From why time management is broken to how to manage your attention and build a system you can actually trust. And that clarity you get from having that second brain, from using the cord model, that's what gives you the calm and control.
The knowledge is all there for you now. But the key, the real leap, is from knowing to doing. Momentum only starts when you take action.
A practical, immediate start.
Yes.
So let's leave you with this final thought, this idea of anti-perfection. That desire to get things perfect is often just resistance in a clever disguise.
That's hiding place.
It is. So instead of striving for perfect, just ship it. Ship it like you care, knowing that the imperfections are just a reminder that we are, at the end of the day, just human.
We're operating on a very complex and old neurological system.
Exactly. So the real limit in this information age, it isn't your skills, it isn't your time.
It's your imagination.